Hi everybody, welcome to Crowdfunding Countdown. We're going to take a look at every single board game campaign, finishing up in the next week. But first off, before we do, I got to give a huge shout out to my patrons. And you know what? I do need to call them by their true names, as they have now started putting in the Discord, in no particular order. Glitter Chris, Chris Light, Chris Rowan Ford, Caged Chris, Chris Muad Dib, Hung Chris, Sick Chris, Lego Chris, Real Chris, British Chris, Christofferson, Chris's dad, Chris, you really screwed up, Old Chris, Sexy Chris, Sick Chris, Weeb Chris, Metal Chris, and Deposed Chris, and an Archivist Chris. If I missed any of the Chris's, well, I love you all. I think you're very funny. Everybody in my Discord, all my patrons in my Discord, have been changing their names to be various versions of me, taking photos of me from across the internet. It's chaos in there, and I have been laughing all day. Oh, it's so friggin' funny. Oh, I'm so mad at how funny it is, because I wish I had come up with it myself. You're not allowed to make funny jokes. What are you doing around here? Don't you know that I'm the jokester? Jokester Chris over here. And me, anyway, it's me, Timu Chris. I am the imposter. Anyway, I love you all. That's so funny. So just shout out to my patrons. I have a great community. It's so awesome to hang out with people who love board games, just want to chat. And thank you all for supporting the channel. And everybody who supports the channel, whether you're on the Discord, whether you're insane and are changing your names, or you're normal people, thank you so much for supporting the channel. It really does make a big difference. Makes doing 3 jobs at once worth it. So speaking of those, let's get into the week. Get that out of there. And we're going to start with a big one. It hasn't quite hit. Let's refresh just in case. It hasn't quite hit $1 million US, although I know it was close. This is one where I got something in my email. Oh, it just crossed $1 million. 5 days left to go. Well, I'm doing it now. You're not getting a designated 5 reasons you shouldn't back, but I am going to try to be as harsh as possible to this, the Champions of Rokugan, which has been garnering a lot of support. Let's check it out. Seems cool. Enter together in a realm of heroism, magic, and steel, where warring samurai clans clash for power and prestige, duel for revenge, and fight to save the very soul of the realm of Rokugan in the universe of the Legend of the Five Rings. I had a box of Legend of the Five Rings, and I couldn't figure it out because I think it was a weird expansion. I got it in a bundle, and I got rid of it. So let's check out this thing, this 160 minis a month. That's what that said. Stretch pay. Got 160 minis a month. Is there no video here? Doesn't seem like there is. It's just pictures of cool minis. All right, great. For 1 to 5 players, plays in about 90 minutes, and it lets you take up the sword, spear, or spells of the greatest heroes of the Legend of the Five Rings universe. During these troubled times, danger comes from within the realm and its clan wars, as well as from the dark forces of the Shadowlands. Cooperative game for 1 to 5 players. Investigate and fight honorably. Debatable. Oh, and fight too honorably. There, that's better. Carry out the mission entrusted to your group of samurai. Although a subject of Rokugan, your loyalty is to your clan, and you want to seek glory for it in the eyes of the Emerald Empire. Flexible and elegant dice mechanic based on 5 rings, which are so dear to this universe. Okay, character skills, key and honor resources. Let's keep looking. The 5 rings. Air, earth, fire, water, and not heart, but void. Because, of course, they are the Void Brethren that are up in here. The Champion Pledge, €199. Oof, 2 big core boxes. Everything gameplay-wise is here. No expansions to add, because there's 2 big gameplay boxes. That makes sense. No expansions to add. You have them, but they're core boxes, so you need them. Those don't look anything like crabs. Those crab defenders. Those don't look anything like cranes. Those kind of do look like dragons. Okay, fine. The Lion Bushi. Cool. I mean, as always with a game that has a whole crap load of minis, they're going to be fun. They're going to look cool. Whoa, like this Witch of Calamity. Oh yeah, that's scary. I've seen, what are those demons from? I'm sure I've seen that in an anime of some sort. Maybe Chainsaw Man? Oh no, it's from One Punch Man. One Punch Man Season 2. That's what that one looks like. Weeb Chris is right. This is not the Project Story. This is Project FOMO. Now, if this buddy's name was Tofu, I'd be a lot more interested. Akuma no Oni? Yeah, that's pretty sweet. There's just this one pledge. Just the Champion Pledge. That's it. And then you can add some dice trays. Gameplay overview. Yes, please. Give me the rulebook. I'm sure it's a big one. There are the 19 scenarios in Champions of Rokugan offer a wide variety of playstyles. They're the default scenarios where each scenario will lead the champions to face the enemies and challenges that stand between them and their various objectives. Some adventure scenarios also include an investigation component. They must question personae in order to progress through the story. These scenarios use an additional deck of cards called investigation cards to ensure that they run smoothly. Okay, so it's just a different sort of check and then a choose your own adventure style card. Some scenarios are real battles and feature more miniatures on the game board. These scenarios never include investigation. Yeah, it's too late for that. It's war. Chris bought 3,000. Oh, I just saw another one. Big Krisky. Big Krisky. Oh, Big Maki. I'm getting too distracted. I need to read rulebooks. A 90-page rulebook. No, I'm not going to read that. But we are going to look at some key elements to it. Oh, okay, it is only 45. Okay, great. That makes a big difference. There are enemies who guard, patrol, who search, who assassinate, and the enemy's priority is to flee the game board. So if the enemies flee, you can lose. Just the different scenarios that you have. Okay. Skill tests with many ways to modify those results. Yeah, that's what I was just getting to in the rulebook. Champions and allies use elemental dice composed of symbols. You have those. Okay, so there's some dice mitigation, dice-driven combat as well. You roll dice, inflict wounds on your opponent. You choose one element as their offensive element from fire and water, and then earth and air is defensive. Oh, that's kind of nice, because it represents their offensive and defensive successes. So if you're not getting a offensive success, you're likely getting a defensive success. That's a fun little mitigation there. That's what that means. Well, cool. Each champion also has a secret technique that will be triggered for free if the result of the test includes the required symbols. Depending on the champion, these can be effects in combat, out of combat, additional wounds inflicted, healing effects, support movement, etc. So if you hit 3 air elements, you can move each enemy in your target's area to an adjacent area and inflict 1 attack. Cool. Yeah, that feels really strong. Feels like you're hoping for it. Fun. These are the enemy dice. Seem very simple. You can perform. This is a great breakdown. I always like reading through their little gameplay breakdown, and then I like turning to the rulebook to supplement my learning, because this gives you the higher level overview, and then I can say, okay, I want to look at this specific mechanism, etc. Especially for a larger scale game like this. Anything that has, 30 plus pages in the rulebook, let's say. During their turn, champions can perform one of 10 possible actions: combat, movement, investigation, concentration. Each action costs between 1 to 3 action points. You recover a certain number of action points each turn. You can store unused action points from previous turns to a maximum total of 10 action points. Great. I like that flow as well. That reminds me of Earth Under Siege, and I thought that was fun about it. That you can really expend a lot, but you're only going to recover a little. But what really sets Champions of Rokugan apart from other adventure games is the honor and glory system. Okay. Eliminating your enemies will not be enough to win. You play Samurai, and honor is important. It will increase and decrease if you do certain things. So you have to achieve a certain group honor score by accumulating the honor of all champions present at the end of the game on the game board. The honorable victory threshold. Yeah, okay, that's kind of fun. It forces you to potentially do suboptimal choices, or that you keep fighting, which is kind of neat. I don't quite care about this glory mechanism. You're getting glory points again, but it's a co-op game, right? So outside of campaign mode, this distinction is purely symbolic. And then in campaign mode, you draw an intermission card that gives you a one-time bonus for the next scenario. So somebody's going to get a bonus for the next scenario. Doesn't really matter who, and then you can decide on what happens. But in a narrative story, I don't know. I like letting us all decide, essentially. You see all these friggin' yellow dots down here? Those are ads on YouTube that I guarantee Rolling Solo hasn't put in. There is a advanced ad thing that automatically gets turned on. That's what people have been talking to me about. They've been saying, hey, you've been putting an ad every 3 minutes or so. I haven't. YouTube has. And if you don't switch off this setting, you're going to be seeing a lot more ads. YouTube's kind of pushing forward. And then when you do turn off this setting, it then turns it back on if you're not paying attention. Legitimately. Yeah. I like action points in a game. I like the list of action points that can happen. I like that some things are weighted more, but when you have an action point scale of 10, it feels like you can do more things, even though, 3 attacks would eat up 9 action points. I really like the secret technique that they're incorporating. That's just above my head here, of the different symbols. The investigations are interesting. In some of the setups, and I was watching a little bit of the Rolling Solo setup there are a number of different investigation cards, and they have numbers on them that can relate to different objectives, which is cool. I like that each investigation card is going to do fun things, and so getting more successes, you can draw 2 and choose them, because some are good and some are bad, because you never know when you're going to burst into a room and you're going to find a clue, or you're going to find A horde of enemy Ronin. The combat mechanics encourage you to stick together as well, because if there are more enemies than you have to roll less dice. But a lot of it really is based on that dice rolling aspect. Running in, it's just a big old dice checker with unique dice. I do think that there being some sort of battle scenarios, like very war game reminiscent, not really, but you're dealing with units, like all of your things can move as a cluster, as a group. That's interesting. I like the potential flexibility and fluctuation in the different scenarios. There seem to be a lot of things that would matter in a competitive game, but shouldn't matter in a cooperative game. Like you choosing your place in the activation track first. I mean, if it's a co-op, you can just all talk, right? But I guess these things are also in place, so if you have an alpha gamer problem, you are baked into the rules that you can't have one person calling all the shots. But yeah, it really does seem fairly easy. It'll be very based around these different scenarios, really all based around those, checking those dice checks and making sure that you get enough honor dependent upon these little honor techniques that are out there. Yeah, I think it's cool. I don't see it being worth $324 Canadian, and what's shipping? Probably like $370 say at this game. Like the amount of excitement that I have to feel for this to be $370, I don't know. Yeah, and it makes sense. €40 because they're going to be 2 giant boxes, right? So 40 to 43 euro. So times this, add 20% onto that, so an additional $64. So $390 to get this to your door for a pretty simple dice checker. So if I had to break down the 5 reasons, I would say that you hate dice checks. You're not going to paint the minis because you're just getting a bunch of plastic that you'll never really get the full value out of. You want consistent scenarios. I don't know if the battle scenarios are going to be as exciting, and depending upon if those aren't exciting and then those stop and get in your way, you know, that could be a potential. It's just too friggin' expensive, really. These two core boxes. You don't need any expansions. We have 2 core boxes that you're forced to purchase. And maybe, I mean, I wouldn't even really be interested for half of it at the €100 marking. It still would be too expensive for me. My interest doesn't hit that level. But it's cool that so many people are interested. Drop down in the comments why you are super excited for Champions of Rokugan, and why it feels more than just a simple dice checker. I don't think it does. I think the dice checking is pretty easy. I do like the character customization that you can do, but this is mainly for action points and for activating your special abilities, right? Yeah, I think it looks good. Definitely looks good. I think if I played it, I would enjoy it. I don't see any flaws really in the dice checking, and I think it utilizing symbols will make it feel decently different from a lot of the other dice checkers that you may have in this genre. It does feel like it is trying to stand out in the genre, which I can really appreciate. So yeah, ultimately I can see why people are excited about it for sure. That finishes when? Tomorrow? No, Wednesday. Wednesday the 2nd at 5 p.m. Moving along, maybe. Actually, I think this is probably a friggin' $1 pre-pledge, isn't it? Let's check those before we keep on moving along. Space Off, Mario Party style. First created, launch, boom. Yeah, I thought it was. Space Off, boom. Yeah, I remember that. Because I was like, oh, I'm always interested about Mario Party style games. But the thing about Mario Party style games is that, like, the minigames in Mario Party aren't good, right? You know? Some of them are, but like the gameplay in Mario Party isn't like that good. I still like it. It's fine to play a game that's also not good and then that you can still enjoy. Like I just mean mechanically interesting when I say that. I'm not really interested in something that has just doubled in on the pre-pledge FOMO, trying to get people on board without really analyzing what the game is. No, we're not doing that, and we're not giving free marketing to garbage games that need to rely on that. The same goes for Unlikely Minds, a mind-reading adventure. Too bad it's a social deduction board game of mind-reading adventure, but unfortunately also decided to do the $1 pre-pledge, and we can see the wild success that they've had. $13,000 when a Launch Boom marketing course costs you like $7, I think, or $10 or $5. So we're not covering that one. Man, so many. We're not going to cover Halflings Best Chef either. No wonder. Can't trust Halflings, because that one also had the friggin' $1 pre-pledge. But we will cover this, sure, because it's raised a bunch of money. This is Omni 6 game table. It's a 3D printable modular gaming table. I know a bunch of people in my Discord who are interested in 3D printing, and so therefore I was interested in checking this out personally. Print your dream game table, the modular gaming tabletop topper. So it's just a big chest that can go on top of a table that's got just a bunch of drawers in it? Sure. It's just a cabinet. I guess a cabinet with a well in it? Okay, yeah, that's kind of cool. Okay, that is kind of cool. Just all these different things. If you are into RPGs specifically, that looks like what this is for. Or drinking water, which, drink some water. This is your reminder. You and me both. So yeah, kind of neat. Early bird files, $48. You can get a lifetime commercial license as well for $250 if you want to start selling this stuff. It seems like a neat idea. Oh, you can even swap the terrain tiles. That's neat. Yeah, I think if you play RPGs specifically, this, or maybe war games, this might be an interesting thing to have your whole setup and your different armies in the drawers. Could be cool. If you're interested, check it out. The finish is Thursday, July 3rd at 10:30 a.m. And then we're moving on to this one, the Battle of the Divas. I think we're finally out of the $1 pre-pledge woods, which is great, as we see what else this week has to offer. It's actually a pretty light week, which is really good for me, which means I can, get a jump on the next week's, because I'm opening Robinhood on July 5th. We got to open Robinhood on July 5th, and we got to open As You Like It on July 25th. And so especially in the next few weeks, I'm going to be doing shows at night and rehearsing during the day. It's going to be a very busy time for me. And I also have to cram in WSBG videos at some point in that time. Or everybody watching who just purchased a ticket to the World Series of Board Gaming and say that I told you to do it. And then, then I can slack off for a couple months, because I'll be like, listen, I hit my quotas, okay? Okay, the Battle of the Divas. I knew this would be by Salt and Pepper Games. They're the ones who also did Battle of Versailles. The Battle of the Divas players take on the roles of Maria Callas and Renata Tebaldi in their fight for operatic supremacy. Amazing theme. Throughout the game, each diva will perform great operas, gain fame, and experience key moments of their career in a timeline that will shape their legacy. Prepare your voice, charm the critics, and dazzle the world as you perform iconic arias and outshine your rival in a duel of pure drama, passion, and high note. Yeah. One-of-a-kind theme. Yeah, I agree. Files are ready. Get your game with no delay. Okay, and then there's an expansion, a deluxe add-on, a new layer of strategic depth. Ooh. 2-player lane battling experiences. Especially on top of the theme, there's lots of reasons this game would be right for you. I love that you're fighting over Fa and Re, Sol and Do, like Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. Oh, come on. Have a rulebook for me, because this doesn't tell me how to play. Master the piano. Okay, cool. Like, tell me how to play. Don't friggin' let me down. Oh, thank goodness. Countless scathing as always said, comparing my voice with Tebaldi's is like comparing champagne with Coca-Cola. What a line. Okay, there's going to be 3 locations. Hence classic lane battler. You're going to draw 4 cards. Each person has a personal and asymmetric deck of 24 cards. That's pretty classic to Salt and Pepper Games. They will have positive effects, negative effects for your opponent, and character cards. Cool, and each card will also have resources on them, and a type of instrument maybe, which can push or pull, tug-of-war style. Not huge about tug-of-war personally. Okay, applause. So you need 8 points essentially to close that opera. Gotta get there first. Resources that are worth points. All operas have two rhythms and 2 notes that must be gained to win applause points. That makes sense. So that's the opera itself, and then there's the opera house board. Depending upon where it is, then the instruments might come into play. So these are different actions you can take up on this keyboard as you're going to be running around, and then also down below you've got the music scale, Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. I mean, you could just call it A, B, C, D, E, but I guess that would get confusing for people. But you would teach them, like, the notes of the piano, probably because so many things are like, look at A, and easier to not get confusing that way. I get it. Played for as many turns as it takes until one of the divas scores and closes the 5th opera. Okay, the rhythm moves your diva. and then you perform the actions on the piano, which are increasing your fame or your technique or doing an opera house action. Okay. Well, I'm not a huge fan of tug of war. It doesn't seem to play that much of an impact on it, although it does play a little bit. This just helps you shuffle around your timeline, which you want to get organized of cards that you've played. At the end, it's an end game scoring condition as you're manning those extra scoring conditions through moving the cards and arranging them in a correct order so that you're not a time traveling opera singer. You're just really good and you move people with your music. Cool, you're expanding your range, you get to put notes on the piano, again, scoring for endgame scoring. I can see how this comes together. Yeah, it seems fun. Quite a few things to consider back and forth. I think if the theming hits with you, that's what's really drawing me in. I like a good theme. I like that this is hitting in that theme. I like that it makes sense. You're extending your range of how much you can sing. You're adding notes to the keyboard, taking actions on the keyboard, while you try to also get points in the opera and close the opera down quickly. And then gaining an additional amount of points through creating this timeline is another mini game. I like that it's not just lane battling. I like that it incorporates a few different things. So the Battle of the Divas and the Palco Real expansion is going to cost you $56 Canadian plus 14 euro. So like 80 or something. And if I just wanted to get regular Battle of the Divas, 37. 23 euro, so 37 Canadian, so 50 bucks, 54 to get a copy. Again, shipping is always expensive for crowdfunding campaigns. I don't know how much you would see these games out in the wild, but I think this does look solid. I think the theme here drives a lot of the heavy lifting, and it's only released 36, eh? That's weird. Like this should be doing very well. Just because I'm not a particular fan of the mechanics doesn't mean I can't see that they are implemented well. It seems like they are. Surprising to me, but they don't really have a huge following, and I think they deserve it. That finishes on the 3rd at 11 a.m. We're going to move on to Wild Gardens, the second printing, and the Foraging Club expansion. The Wild Gardens second printing and Foraging Club expansion are here. New friends, fresh strategies, and delicious adventures await. I have seen this. I've seen this probably on the Board Game Garden because, it's got garden in it, and Jenna loves boxes that are pretty. It has 1,000 backers exactly, but I've never looked into it until now, so let's look into it. Unless I have. I forget. Wait, do I have that bag? Looks like I have that bag. Okay, I'm gonna need a gameplay because it was just play some action tokens, make some recipes, cozy. That's it. But I think people who enjoy the game absolutely will enjoy this. 4 new characters, unique character abilities. Oh, yuck. 179 for this gamers bundle? No. Foraging Club expansion, 30 bucks. That's much better. And then Wild Gardens is $70, 97 Canadian. Yeah, it's certainly not something that you should get on Kickstarter right now because you can get it for 70 at 401 Games if you were interested. So definitely not a crowdfunding purchase at this point in time. Anyway, here's how you play. You can embark on a foraging adventure. You can forage ingredients. You can cook a recipe. You can serve a guest. You can visit the library. Power up with skills. Rest at the end of the day. Game bonuses for resting. You're leaving a token behind, a certain number token that will give you different effects. Yeah, I need something better than that. I need a rulebook. Yeah, especially when shipping's 18 bucks. For me, getting this base game at this Kickstarter would cost me like $120 Canadian, or I could get it for 70 Canadian, literally in stock at 401 Games. Like, are you comparison checking? Just make sure you are. There we go. Move your forager. The number of spaces shown on the action token, following the arrows and skipping occupied spaces, and then do the thing. So wherever you're going, you can forage, you get stuff in an adjacent area. I see you're walking around, and that's the reason why you lose things. So if you lose your 4, you lose your 3, right? You lose your 1, you have to think about where you're going to be foraging moving forward. Cook, pay its cost, gain its points. Cost is just down here. Its points are there. Okay, so this one costs 3 berries and a purple, and it gets you 3 points. So yeah, you have to have a recipe of a certain type, like a breakfast, to serve a guest, because the guest wants breakfast. Oh, and when you rest, so you just have to kind of pass for the round. So it's not like Everdell, where you can just keep on going, you can rest and pick up, or any game that has picking up cards. Sure, it seems light, probably fine. I mean, it kind of reminds me of the Pathways, kind of reminds me a little bit of Jamaica, which I never really found that interesting. I don't see the action tokens being monumentally interesting here, of the change of moving once or twice. This really reminds me of Maple Valley in that everywhere you move, you always get stuff. You can cook things up or whatever. Just that sort of slow accumulation of resources and then easy to complete objectives doesn't really seem interesting to me whatsoever. But if you're interested, well, you can check that out. That finishes on, again, shipping is there. You should just get it in stock. Finishes on the 3rd at 12 p.m. Let's keep moving. I don't think this is going to fund. I fear this is going to get canceled. It's way far down. I don't normally cover things, but it is a bit of a lighter week. So I'll take a quick look at this. I'm not going to do a huge deep dive because I imagine it'll be canceled, but I'll take it, well, unless it looks amazing, and then I'll do a deep dive. Chart your course. This is Astro Navigators. Chart your course to the moon. A thrilling space race and asymmetric worker placement game. See, that interests me. Where you explore the stars, gather knowledge, and embark on a daring journey to the lunar surface. The Lunar Pledge. Base game's €48. Hasn't unlocked anything, naturally. Okay, you're going to chart the heavens. Oof, yeah, I can see why this isn't doing well. It's rough to look at. This, again, is the problem about using in-game terminology that you don't define. I know that navigational knowledge is probably action points, but, like, it's definitely very involved. I've been looking through the rule book, which is rough. It's a relaunch, too. They just, like, didn't want to write up a gameplay breakdown to guide anybody. Essentially, there's this navigation area where you can place your workers. Your workers will go, and then you're going to activate each week of the month in order. Boom, 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 boom. Your goal being to sort of set your astronaut, shoot it off of Earth, do a loop around the moon, and come back down to Earth. You're going to be earning reputation points as you go through. You're also going to be charting the stars and traveling around the globe to get various bonuses to your navigational knowledge. That's the NK, so that you can do the loop and get reputation points. That's kind of it. I don't think it's going to fund just because of how convoluted it seems. There are some fun little mini games at play, but not enough to really pull me in to want to look into it even more. And I think that should say as much as anything could. This finishes, well, it's probably already been canceled, but it finishes on the 3rd at 1 p.m. Moving along to this Parlay, the betting game. Maybe, maybe not. Nope. Definitely not. Parlay also has a $1 pre-pledge, doesn't have a BGG link. Parlay could have gotten you your high stakes expansion. So again, not something that we are interested in covering, giving them free publicity, but I am going to give this free publicity. This is the Baby Owlbear soap. So it's only 7 backers. Okay. A little sketch, but it's a handmade Baby Owlbear soap with a choice of over 10 cents with a 7-piece polyhedral dice set inside. So you can get an owl soap that as you wash your hands, washing your hands has never been so purposeful as you try to get the dice out of your owl. We're back with adorable Baby Owlbear soaps. We've been making soaps, fantasy-themed soaps, since 2021. Handmade in the UK for £105. You can get 11 Baby Owlbear soaps, but they come with a set of dice. You can choose one of the 7 Baby Owlbear soaps with mystery dice set inside. $25 for this thing. You know what? I'm into it. How much is shipping? Oh, is it also £13? I don't know if I can justify. Yeah, I mean, it's $50 for one soap. And you do get a set of dice. But I can't justify that. I don't think I can justify that. They're very silly. If it was $25, like if I saw this in the store for $25, yeah, I'd be interested. But just shipping's gonna kill you. Very funny though. What a funny concept. And like, it's a soap Tootsie Pop, you know? It's a soap Tootsie Roll. Where the 8 backers, somebody backed as we were talking. Okay, that's cool. Where the juicy center is a set of dice. I think it's very funny, even though it's absolutely not worth it. But I did want to give it a shout out because it's way better than Parlay. A campaign that I imagine is just horrid. This is going to be as horrid as Botany, and it's going to get backers because it looks good. What a shame. Okay, we're going to check this one out. This is Sinners with a dark sense of humor. This solo play card game sees you battle evil priests, mercenaries, common thugs, and crazed cultists. And of course, the legendary Cannibal Bob. Of course, can't forget about Bob. This is a solo game with some cards. It seems a little bit funny. 30 minutes. Sees you fight through the first level of the prison tower. Each turn you draw a location card. Refer to the game book for what it means, or simply read the card if you've purchased the custom deck, and determine the best way to handle the occupants and events that occur. A full game where you survive to the final boss and location lands typically between 30 to 45 minutes, which we think is the perfect length of time for a game like this. The game has you draw from multiple shuffled decks of cards, as well as rolling on equipment and resource tables. Cool. Each playthrough is unique and different. Additionally, there's 3 final bosses, 3 final locations, everything's randomly selected. Randomness, randomness, randomness. Ack. This is the 8th game of this type from the Grinning Frog. Cool. And no one has ever complained that the games play out the same. Over 38 campaigns over on Kickstarter during the last 5 years. Wow. So you deal a location card, and then it's like, you choose between a quick search, a full investigation, based upon what resources or encounters you want to get. Of course, you don't always get what you want. Yeah, so it's a little choose your own adventure story. You're going to be facing off of these random thugs and gangs of thieves and gifted blacksmiths and random events that are going to happen. A bunch of random events. You can get a download link. You get printed copies done from the UK. Worldwide postage, other than the UK, will be 8 to 10 euro. So you can get the print bundle if you want the printed rulebook and bespoke card deck. So if you want everything printed for you, that's £32. Or you can just get the PDF for £12, 22 Canadian. Sure, just a bunch of, it's a big choose your own adventure game with a little bit of dice chucking, or a lot bit of dice chucking, depending upon how many of these encounters you want to fight. If you're interested, that finishes at 7 p.m. on the 4th. Moving along to this one, the solo game of the month, which is Shred of Redemption, which Shred of Redemption follows the journey of a corrupt medieval noble who decides to make amends towards the end of his life and challenges the player to answer what can make up for a life full of violence and betrayal, and working with Golden Bell. The design mixes bag building with dice rolling placement and a tight 15-minute playtime. Oh, cool. All right, let's check it out. The joke here is that Artem Safarov worked with a company, Golden Bell. I think that was the scuttlebutt in the Discord. So Golden Bell Games was just a scam company, but apparently the feelings towards the designer is that he gets screwed over as well. So let's see what this solo the game of the month is. Only 15 minutes. I'm sure Gabe Barrett can tell us in 5 minutes. Okay. Yeah, he talks a little bit more about the story in that video than the gameplay, so I prefer more gameplay, so let's see. Hope there's a rulebook. Make up for a life full of violence and betrayal in this tight 15-minute dice placement bag builder. 24 custom dice, that's nice. And a burlap bag. Who don't love a burlap bag? Okay, roll dice to determine which vice you need to overcome. Sure. Yeah, probably Vice. Draw redemption cards to build your bag of virtue tokens and determine abilities. So they'll have the symbols up in the top left corner. I guess you get abilities down below. Use the abilities of the tokens you pull to manipulate the tokens and dice on the board. Create a set of virtues that perfectly matches your dice to achieve redemption. So you're just shifting things around. You want to pull things and then use the abilities to draw more stuff from the bag. Down the rulebook. Yeah, nice. Thank you for the rules. Okay, so you roll the dice. These are the symbols you need to meet. Each token can be used or discarded. They let you manipulate dice, grant you additional tokens. Here's the flow, essentially. Put all the dice in the bag. Pull a die from the bag, place in formation. Pull 2 redemption cards. Pick one. Keep the other. Well, pick one, discard the other. I guess it's tough when you don't know what some of the effects of the cards are. 3 dice are showing the same vice. Turn one of them to its dominant vice. Discard a use token to... So you want to use each one's ability in the right order to get the dice and the virtue tokens in the right order. And each one of the virtue tokens will have an ability, and choosing how to use them in the correct way, because you've rolled the dice, you got to manipulate the dice back to the ordinary the equilibrium. I'm not overwhelmed by it. I think their price point is always very good. 25 bucks, 35 Canadian, and then shipping is $6 to Canada, $5 to the US, and then a little note about tariffs. There was somebody in Crowdfunding Countdown who said that they did promise no tariffs, or that they were like, oh, we don't have to worry about tariffs. Tariffs are fine. It's not really going to hit us. And then they still reached out and asked for a whole bunch of money for tariffs. So I don't quite know about that. That's just something to look out for in terms of solo game of the month. I've always thought that they would be, fine. He said, the tariffs haven't been hitting us. And then apparently there were some tariff charges. That's what some people in the comments said last time there was a solo game of the month in crowdfunding. And if that was you, I'm sorry for not expanding correctly upon what you said, but I appreciate you giving me the heads up and giving us all the heads up, which I think is important. I think in terms of base of this game, I understand it's only a 15-minute game, right? So how much depth of strategy are you really looking for? Not a lot. You're pulling some tokens out, you're using those tokens' powers, and you're shifting some dice around. Did you win? No. It was too random. Try again. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think quick games which you can lose inherently from the get aren't necessarily bad things. They're only bad things if the process of playing the game is not fun, right? And I don't know, I like manipulating things. I was expecting this to be maybe more of a bag builder. I guess you're doing bag building with a token and swapping like regret tokens in and out, trying to get the right tokens to be pulled out of the bag. It doesn't feel like an active bag builder in terms of what I like from a bag builder, of that constant engine building, again, because you only have 15 minutes, but sure. Seems, I don't know, not their best. That finishes on the 5th at 1 a.m. I mean, I only clicked on this because I wanted to say, I hate everything about you. Why do I love you? You know that song? Apparently it's a British band. Must be. Let's look it up. 3 Days Grace? 3 Days Grace is not British. Oi! Hate everything about you. Yeah, definitely Canadian. I don't really think there's much of a game here, but it's not the worst one, honestly. You have a bunch of different things. Beer, doom scrolling, and they pull either love or hate, and then you got to play a card in which you need to pick the thing that they would love the most. You probably don't have the right card. It's probably beer. You know, I really don't drink that much at all. But my friend Steffi, who I was on Codenames with recently, Codenames Live, over on the Nerd Incorrect Twitch channel, we have we're back when we were like becoming friends, early becoming friends. She came to my birthday party. This was 2020, I guess, and we were like newer friends. And so she came to my birthday party. That we had a big birthday bash right before a pandemic, because my birthday's in February, and she was very nice. And she's like, I'm gotta get a little something for Chris. It's his birthday. So she bought me these beer socks that say "I love beer" on them, and I like I'm fine with beer. I'm not I'm not like super passionate about beer. I don't drink that much, and it was just, anyway, it's very funny. She's like, oh, what's it? He probably likes beer. Who doesn't like beer? I got him some beer socks. So now anytime I see Steffi, I try to wear my beer sock. And then I got her some wine socks on her birthday, which I thought was funny. Anyway, this isn't a horrible game. You know, it's fine. $32 for a single game is too much. You know, you want this priced at $25. That's the going rate. And then shipping is probably way too expensive as well. Well, it doesn't say here. And it doesn't have shipping information. Yeah, how are you going to get it to me? Oh, shipping is charged after the campaign. Okay, estimates are here. Okay, thank you. You can zoom in. So 15 to 22, 30 to 35, etc. So again, could be like $70 for this. Not worth it, but not the worst game we've seen. We've definitely seen worse. Okay, let's keep it moving to Fintastic Sea. Think deep, play smart. In Fintastic Sea, players take on the role of marine biologists, building thriving marine ecosystems by placing, catching, and combining fish species. Strategic card placement, timing, and combo building lie at the heart of this thinky, dynamic underwater challenge. Do you have a video? There's a how to play. How long are you going to be? 8 minutes? All right, that's kind of neat. There are essentially two sections that you're building: your ecosystem. Get back here. Your ecosystem and your reserve. You're gobbling up fish from the main area. You basically place a fish out. You'll do its ability. You can catch some fish. Or you can release things from your ecosystem or your reserve to do those abilities as well. So it might make sense to take some fish, build it up, use that to throw them out to gather the things that are actually going to give you points. Sure. Yeah, how much are you? That's going to really determine it. The reserve to fuel combo chains and unlock secret fish, or the ecosystem for endgame points. So I was incorrect speaking before. You have to put into the ecosystem for endgame points. You can only hold up to 10 different fish in your ecosystem. They got to start a new ecosystem. Keeping things in the reserve is like, yeah, I want to use the power, not the points. So you still get that choice when you pull your card in. It makes a lot of sense. I don't really feel like I need to look at the rulebook because I listened to that 8-minute video. And how much are you? €18. 29 Canadian. That's pretty reasonable. Or a digital version for $9. Nice. Okay, I like that. And shipping's probably too expensive for me. Shipped from Germany. They fit a medium-sized game into a smaller box. Germany, cost for one game, $4.50. That's pretty good. UK, 11. North America, €13. So again, it'd be about $50 Canadian to get this to me. $50 is too much for what it is, but I don't think it looks bad. I think it seems like a pretty simple card game that might be a little bit overlong, because all the of the chaining things together. And if you just have a big fish number, you're going to be able to gobble up a lot more fish, and then you use those to get other fish, and really chain those things down. Really wanting to chain things together, as the saying is saying. Will you just do it now, or will you wait to get the perfect chain reaction? So trying to get that timing in. Yeah, it seems good. I wasn't expecting a lot from this, especially because it has pretty low funding, but I don't mind it. Again, shipping makes it too expensive. I think it would be something where I would play and I go like, yeah, it's fine. You know, I go, interesting. Do I need this in my collection? Absolutely not. Do I need many of these in my collection? Never. I still like being nice to games as well. So that finishes on the 6th of July at 1 p.m. All right, next up we got Dirty Filthy Bikepacking, the board game. Get dirty, silly, and nowhere fast in this intuitive, crazy game that perfectly captures the skids, sense, and side quests of bikepacking. Sure. So yes, it's funded, but let's keep going. It's a co-op game. I don't have high hopes for it. I definitely don't have high hopes for it. In fact, I have very low hopes for it. You find a perfectly good sandwich. Cooperative bikepacking board game with added sneakiness. It's just if you like doing the thing and you want to have funny cards. This is basically a funny card game. It basically is. It basically is. If you're a bikepacker, well, congratulations. Here's a funny card game for you. You can look at cards and you can read about what happened to you on the bikepacking and look at these little illustrations. Cringe item, pit nuke. Deodorant is cheating. This is the worst kind of item. Totally, utterly cringe. If you're holding this at the end, you get minus 15 points. Now that's a game. Whoa. Now that is a game. That is pretty fun. All right. Well, what can happen? If you like being in the woods, being harassed by woodland creatures with mental health problems, knitting your own tent from yogurt, replacing your bike chain with forage creepers, wearing a tortoise as a hat, navigation device, or having a long, cool, clear drink of drinking lube, the only really drinkable chain lube with fruit flavors and omega-13s, and you are gonna be happy. Oh, you are gonna laugh. Oh, you are gonna laugh. Oh, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Says the gameplay. You're gonna go through the woods. You can ride together. It doesn't say any gameplay. It just tells you it's all very intuitive and fun. I think we're done with this. Roll one die. Move that number of squares forward or back. Pick up a card. And then you want to pay €33 for it? Honestly, not a bad price. Not a bad price for a bunch of funny little cards to look at. If you're interested, this is the weirdest frickin' thing. I almost swore. My politics. I'm totally devoted politically and emotionally to the right of all people to self-determine their identity, to live their lives in a peaceful way they want to live them. Okay, I guess that's fine. I thought that they were saying that they're like, my politics or I have no politics, in which case, like, why would you include a section? But here they're like, my politics. Well, I have no politics. I just think that people should be happy. Yeah. So you're a normal person who's not a piece of shit. But unfortunately, I can't say the same thing about your games. That finishes Monday, July 7th at 12:27 a.m. Moving along to this, I mean, I had to click on it because it had the title The Skelly Boyz. You know I'm not going to not click on something that says The Skelly Boyz, especially when I'm trying to start a gang this summer called the Brunswick Boys, because I live on Brunswick Street, and we're loading up the house with an air hockey table and a little hockey table and a big old shuffleboard table, all that we're getting off for free on Facebook Marketplace. It's fantastic. So yes, I had to click on this. It's a skeleton stick figures collection. A plethora of wooden skeleton meeples for TTRPGs, games, collecting, and more. Obviously collecting, and obviously more. The Skelly Boyz. You want some Skelly Boyz? Look at these cute Skelly Boyz. Done. Build a skeleton, nah. A sack of Skellies. Get a sack of 20 random skeleton stick figures. We'll put all 20 for $35. Way too expensive. But I mean, look at the Skelly Boyz. Can you blame them? Can you blame these little Skelly Boyz? Anyway, it's the name Skelly Boyz that brings me great Skelly joy. So, you know, I had to cover it. That finishes Monday, July 7th at 3:50 p.m. The things that you'll find on crowdfunding, like this. ANTgravity. In space, no one can hear ants fighting. Do you remember the classic video games about teams of funny creatures battling? Now they are ants, and they are in space. and they use hilariously deadly weapons in a clash where no Earth's gravity rules have power. In ANTgravity, you will move your ants, jump on asteroids, try to capture flags, and bring them safely to your base. Very funny. I feel like I'm in some sort of fever dream, but I'm into it. Better than ANTgravity. Okay, this kind of looks fun because it seems like you just travel in a straight line, so you're destroying bits of the planet, so you can just throw yourself across. You know what? Cuter than I expected. Dynamic tactical game where you're trying to capture the flag. You're throwing yourself towards the flag, taking the flags, and getting them back to your base. Cute. Let's check out the rulebook. Be quiet, Chris Cord. Everybody's in the Chris Cord right now. The room and board Chris Cord. More people are moving in. Distraught Chris, Lil Chris, KDM Chris. Oh, I'm sure there's going to be more Chris's by the time that we get through this. But we got to get through it. We got to get through this last little bit before I have to go to rehearsal. So we are going to look at the rulebook. That's where we're. I like this. I'm excited about this. I'm intrigued by what's going on here. Where are the... I thought there was a rulebook. Come on. All right. At least there's how to play, and it seems pretty simple. So I think that... but hopefully there's a rulebook if I have any more questions. You want to capture flags. You want to destroy things. Take turns one by one. You activate 1 or 2 ants that can move and use a weapon or equipment card to attack enemy ants or destroy asteroids. As a result of their actions, player can earn energy tokens which can be used to play additional cards, creating unique tactical combos. Okay, cool. In space, any ant that moves or gets hit is subject to gravitational pull in the direction indicated by the arrow token on its token. Interesting. So you're always pointing where you're going to be going. So even if you get hit, then you can be shot further forward until it hits an obstacle or it can land an asteroid or drifts away into the cosmic void, which I think is funny. Okay, here's a rulebook. It does seem like it could be very, very quick. That's one thing that I'm kind of looking for. The Holy Death Grenade instead of the Holy Hand Grenade. This Holy Death Grenade looks like a Death Star. Oh, and that's good. Even if your ants get killed or get off the edge, it's just a turn refresh. So it slows you down, but you know, you're not out of the game, which is great. I'm going to ignore this weird thing that says gravity, which could just be like momentum, you know, or the lack of gravity. So anytime an asteroid is removed from the board and you're already pointing at it, so that's how you can set up those combos. Cool. Oh, okay. So if you think of it as you're jumping up around, I don't know, anywhere the arrow is pointing, you have these gravity boots that are just shooting you in that direction constantly that you can't do anything to stop. And then you're just playing a bunch of cards to bounce around. There'll be random cards, random actions. Instead of activating an ant, you can draw an arsenal card. Both ants will be eliminated if they smash into each other. You gain energy to do that. Then you can use energy to play cards. Yeah, I think the flow of this seems fun, for sure. And it's not a horrible price either. I mean, after shipping to Canada, of course it is. That's classic Crispot 3000, €19. But what's the core set sitting at? €29. €29? That feels reasonable for this game, right? Shipping makes it a little bit more than what I want to pay, obviously, as is the usual. But I think it's cute. I think it's cute enough. This would be a fun... you know, we're having our kids death match right now where we just watch a bunch of kids, like Hunger Games style, battle to the death. But that's for a different tier of the Room Board Chris Cord. No, it's the best game to play with kids. And I feel like this would be a real contender for kids. So yeah, I'm quite intrigued. I think the price seems okay, other than shipping. If you're interested, that finishes on the 7th at 3 p.m. Moving along to this one, Colosseum, the Grand Spectacle by Fantasia Games. Fantasia Games is bringing back the beloved classic Colosseum. Oh yeah, this was out of print for a while with a beautifully crafted deluxe edition. I don't know how this game plays. I've never played it before, but I do know that it exists because it was in my board game wrap. So that's how I know about it. Designed by Kramer and Lubke. This new edition features Johnny Pack as the lead developer, stunning artwork from the Micho and Nino Tool. A fresh take on a timeless game, elevated in every way. Step into the arena and create a spectacle worthy of the Emperor. Let's see this spectacle. They're just making it a gladiator. It's just gladiator. Maximus, Maximus, Maximus. Or the second one. Sharks, sharks, sharks. Isn't that it? I didn't see the second one, but they turned it into a Sharknado pit. Yeah, because I think you've all had a copy of this, and then he traded it for a bunch because it was out of print, and he was able to get a bunch of games. Yeah, I mean, that video told me literally nothing, but it looked cool for sure. Are you not entertained? I'm not entertained yet because I don't know how to play. Will you be entertained? Maybe. Yeah, 2008. Ooh, don't worry, there's a soundtrack. I mean, soundtracks are sick. But but you gotta make them free. 19 bucks for 80 metal coins. Just pay 25 cents for a bunch of quarters. Oh, wait, it kind of works out. Okay, so the lowest pledge is this Mercury pledge for 69 euro. 112 Canadian. It's gotta be incroyable for me to want that. We do like good storage, though. We do like pre-painted. Impresario, a Colosseum card game. I don't want that. I don't want a card game. What about just the base game? I don't want a card game at all. Don't give me this $25 card game when I don't want it. Why are you doing this to me? Why is there no pledge where you can't get this card game that I don't want? And there's no add-on of just the base game. Oh, yeah, okay, it's free. No, it's not free. It's always baked into the cost. It's not free. Take it out. Take it out and give me a cheaper version. It's not free. This is like when U2, it's a soundtrack, and they got the soundtrack too. This is like when U2 gave everybody their free album. Everyone was like, I don't want it. Get it off of my Apple iTunes library. All right, overview and gameplay. You've got to upgrade your arena, hire elite performers, and court influential nobles, including the Emperor himself. Players compete to create ever more impressive events and secure lasting glory by making other people battle to the death. Purchase new spectacles from the display and place them in your area. Okay. Start an auction by placing the Mercury pawn in the market. Sure. Gather 3 or more performers of any type to gain a star performer of the same type. Wouldn't really call them performers. I'd call them, slaves about to die. But you do you. This tells me nothing. Produce a spectacle. Tally up your score for the round. What's the score? Okay. I'm going to be upset at this campaign, I think. They've got a bunch of very long videos. Okay, here's at least the rules. At least you have the rules. Thank you. I was going to be mad. Star performers, like Maple Circus. Okay, after 4 rounds, the impresario with the highest acclaim wins. You must produce spectacles to earn money and win the acclaim of the crowd. Recruit and trade performers, secure top-tier star performers, plan and execute ever more thrilling spectacles, and attract influential nobles to your section to best your rivals, and potentially receive gifts from the Emperor himself. 4 rounds, 5 phases. Make investments, hire people, trade people, perform a spectacle, closing ceremony. Okay, under turn you can make 2 investments from the following options. Buy a gate, promoter, spectacle, temple. Give me Princes of Florence vibes of limited things that you purchase at the beginning. I like that. Gates allow you to perform more spectacles. Promoters boost up your acclaim. Temple of Fortune lets you mitigate dice rolls. Okay. Higher performers take turns running auctions and bidding for lots of performer tiles. On your turn, choose whether to conduct an auction or pass, ending your turn. If you pass, refill any empty markets. Players then continue with the next player. Yeah, you can only win 1 auction. You win 1 lot. This is very Princess of Florence coded to me, and I really like that, right? You have chance to buy stuff, then you have chance to buy more stuff, and then you use your stuff. But there's a trading element and negotiation element. Okay, this does seem fun. Oh, but it's not a free-for-all. It's the active player directs all trades and goes 1 round. Trades have to include the active player. Sure. Once all players have completed a turn as an active player, proceed to phase 4. I guess that makes sense in terms of like trading something for something and things down the line and getting stuck with things. I can be like, listen, I'll trade you this so that I can trade it to you down the line. It's like, okay, and then I do the first trade, and then the second person doesn't want me to do the trade. And now I'm screwed. Yeah, it says, don't drag this out. I would just do it maybe free for all though. This is literally just like, hey, have you ever played a negotiation or a trading game before? Don't be a dick. And then phase 4, perform spectacle. You choose a spectacle, move nobles. What does the moving nobles do? Sure, you're just trying to get these Aquila tokens. Aquila? Aquica. Probably Aquila. But maybe not, because some like words that have clearly like Spanish etymology in it are like bastardized by English. Okay, great. So you've been collecting these spectacles. You need the different color of tile to complete them, and if you don't have enough, you'll lose points for it. So this one starts at 45, but it really end up with just like 8 points for it. But then you've taken it from someone else, Also gain 5 acclaim for each face-up spectacle beneath your impresario board. Star performers. Do your people die? Interesting. So you only get acclaim for your highest. You don't sort of get continual acclaim. Finally, gain money from the bank equal to the acclaim you generated this turn. This is just Princess of Florence. Once you collect your money. When was Princess of Florence was before this, right? 2000. Yeah, and Colosseum was 2008. So it's really like a huge, so many similarities to Princess of Florence, except you're not doing that polyomino thing. That makes me excited about this, but it also makes me calm down because I have Princess of Florence. There's some other elements to it. I like the negotiation. I like the potential trading aspect that can happen. I assume your performers die, but maybe not, because then you're getting star performers, right? The fact that you can get star performers means that I think your performers might stick around. And especially there's only 4 rounds. We're only making like 3 to 4 performers in an auction and you need all 13 types to get this big one at the end, I think we can assume that they don't die. Thematically, I feel like something should die. Oh, look at that. Step 1, retire a performer. Chooses 1 performer and returns it to the game box. They don't retire, they die. And then you just get 1 stolen, which I hate. I'm into it. I'm not into it for this price. I'm into it for, a $60 price. I think it seems fine. I'm also beyond the core box. This is more than a game. It's a heartfelt tribute to our community for the impresario. It's not. Like, it's included in the price. Like, let's be real. I don't want it. I don't want it. It's offered to all tiers as a token of appreciation. I mean, that is nice, but I don't care. I mean, I should care. 6 player joins the arena. Impresario, how to play. Yeah, I'm not sitting through 17 minutes for something I don't care about. Well, we'll take a brief look at how to play the card game. Game for 2 to 5 players. Take on the role of a wealthy Roman entrepreneur. Gather the largest ensemble of performers. Draw a card, add it to the market, or pick one of the available rows of cards to add to your tableau. Players continue playing the round until all rows in the market are taken, meaning every player has taken one of the rows. Then you see if there's enough cards to continue. And a row of cards can have 6 cards. Okay, so you keep on drawing. You say, okay, I'll just draw 6 cards, and I'll take 6 cards and add it to my tableau. It's like a less interesting raw, because someone can just take it instead of there being a bidding element to it. And then you're making sets. You score all the columns in your tableau, and you get a bunch of points for it. So you just want to get the same card. That seems ridiculously boring and not a value add whatsoever, like I thought. So it's fine. But if you want to spend $140 on it, because shipping is going to be... Oh no, it just went up. Shoot. My dollar's failing. Shipping for the Mercury is €24. Again, I don't want to pay shipping for it. So, $140 to get this game. I'm not really interested. I think if you want something very similar, I think you should get Princes of Florence. I do see that it looks fun. Like, it does seem good. I just would want it to be $60 or wait till it gets into retail before considering it. But yeah, it seems fun. I like the collecting. I like the bidding on stuff. Definitely enjoy auction games. So I can see why people are excited about it. And it's nice that a game that is good is being reprinted. That finishes at 6 p.m. on the 7th. We're going to move on to this one. Blast Operation Paradox. Reality is cracking and the timeline is infected with deadly anomalies. Your mission, dive into the chaos of history, hunt down the source of corruption, and restore the timeline before it collapses for good. Join an elite Time Commando unit in this 1 to 3 player retro tactical arcade sci-fi game. Those are cute. Little chibi zombies. Hex crawling, skirmishy, fighting people. Cooperative or semi-cooperative? Alright, squad. You either fight side by side like a proper damn heroes and complete your mission, or one of you traitors takes control of the damn undead and makes life hell for the rest of us. Either way, someone's going home in a body bag. It's like, well, alright, listen. All of you will work together, or one of you is going to turn traitor. The least inspiring speech that an army general has ever given. Tommy Lee Jones. These rotten maggots ain't just shuffling. They follow behavior scripts based on battlefield conditions. It's the little flavor text, and they're like, but we really do need to communicate to you the mechanisms of the game. It's very important. Oh yeah, that makes sense. That seems fine. They'll either, if you can, attack an enemy target immediately, or move 2 spaces and attack with 1 penalty die, or move 3 spaces. If one of you goes rogue and joins the freaking brainless, you get to choose their next move from their evil little playbook. Outsmart the squad, or die trying. Whose side are you on? It feels like he's the one who's controlling the dead. He's like, listen, someone will be controlling the dead. You hoping it's definitely not me. Semi-co-op, it's not semi-co-op, it's 1 versus all, I guess. Each operator gets 2 actions. Move, attack, reload, use skill, sentry. That's it. Simple. The meatbags, they follow their behavior script. If you can tie your boots, you can play this game. Forget your grandma's dice. We use a triple die system. Action, support, and penalty, all in 1 brutal roll. Success, setbacks, or critical hits. Your fate's in your damn hand. I'm into it. I love the flavor. Yeah, give me the rulebook. Honestly, though, it feels pretty intuitive to me. I think that's a really great breakdown, and I really do like this enemy behavior. Seems like it'd be very simple to implement, and then you just have to deal with what all the keywords mean, which are moving around. No time for paperwork, soldier. Mission briefing. Gear up your heroes. Drop a deployment card. Slap down the right terrain tile. Shovel the enemy card. Stack that spawn deck. Read a 24-page rulebook. Grab your grandma and spin her in the marsh. I don't know where that went. Sometimes I'll start a sentence, and well, sometimes the colonel will start a sentence, to be clear. And who knows where it goes? Who knows where it goes indeed? The Whisperer! The Whisperer! Who knew that the Whisperer would show up here? Boom! Ready to rock! Thanks, Whisperer. Appreciate it. You're welcome. Actually, can I create a Whisperer button? I can probably do that, eh? Let's see. Oh, I don't have the Whisperer on this. Okay, you're lucky. I don't have the Whisperer on this computer, but I'm gonna, and then the Whisperer is gonna appear just right in this little circle. Oh yeah, I forgot there was a time stream theme. You can just travel through a fractured history, sure, just so you can have different people. Fast-paced action game. Sure, support dice, a very simple rolling system. The higher number is better. Higher numbers can cancel out lower numbers. Bunch of keywords. Yeah, I think this is going to do what it says, is that you just throw things down, you run around, you shoot as many zombies as you can. Draw a spawn deck, roll the dice to see where they spawn, deploy the enemies, run around. Yeah, I mean, like, the style of the game here is what is actually bringing me in. I think mechanically it's going to be pretty simple. I like that there's some progressing in tiles until you get to the boss. I think it's going to be easy to manage, which for me in these games is important. Yeah, core game is €55, $90 Canadian, and then shipping is €8, 35 to the US and Canada. Woof. So it's going to be 120 to get here. Oh, what's this? Let's talk openly about art and AI. You've probably noticed that some of the artwork in this project, probably all of it, was made with the help of AI-assisted tools. So probably just completely generated. Yes, we're fully aware it's a hot topic right now. We're currently in the prototype phase. It means many assets are temporary, subject to change as the project develops. Here's the truth. We collaborate with real artists, creative people who use AI just like they use Photoshop, 3D modeling, or any other digital tool. Every image goes through the hands, judgment, and vision of actual creators. Nothing is generated and dropped in without purpose or refinement. I mean, that's a nice thing to say, but realistically, that's also, you know what also goes through refinement? And they could just call themselves artists. In fact, some of them are artists in other mediums. Stupid images of glitter Chris in the Discord. You know, it goes through refinement because you have refined the prompts. You say, no, not that prompt, no, not that prompt, and then you just get an AI prompt. That doesn't mean you're paying real artists. It just means you're paying someone who, oh, frick, sunlight in this room keeps on getting onto my computer. I don't want it to be fried. Yeah, I don't know. We hope to expand our visual production. That means commissioning more fully hand-drawn or painted work whenever possible. That's part of the journey. I mean, I get it, though. Like, art is expensive as well. It is expensive to commission people to make your things look good. And it is easier to just get a computer that's stolen from everybody to do it. My concern here is that, like, are these chibi miniatures rendered? Are they actually going to be rendered then? Like, that makes me a little bit more concerned about the DBB games, which they haven't done anything yet. So that's what I would be concerned about in terms of, like, actually getting the minis to be rendered in a certain way. You can say, yeah, we want to do a chibi style, but especially if we've been using the AI art, I don't know how that has impacted the rendering process and the mini molding process as well. But like mechanically, I think it looks like a quick, fun little game, and it's up to you if you want to get a game that has AI art or not. So that finishes, just like it's up to you if you want to watch a video made by real people, real actors, or not, you know? Like, as an actor, my job is like, hey, I'm probably going to be replaced at some point, and I hope that I am providing enough value to not be. Some people are going to do to support me, but some people will die on the hill. Not enough people will to make change, is my opinion, because we're lazy individuals. But that finishes on the 8th at 11 a.m. And finally, we're moving on to this one, Wonner's Contacts. A thrilling one versus all deduction game. Relive the extraterrestrial encounters. Sure, let's check it out. See what this one's all about. Okay, yeah, my camera got too hot. All right, so I had to move myself. Let's try to finish this quick before any more my tech gets boiled by the sun. No, this isn't going to tell me anything. I'm glad they're having fun. All right, but I'm into it, though. I take it back. Sure. Cute little thing. It's another hidden movement game that you use your abilities to chase the aliens down. I like this little thing where you place it down on a spot and spread out and say, like, I'm going to investigate this area or this area. That seems kind of like a fun piece to interact with. How much you gonna be? There's an expansion for Fédération as well, but we're looking more at Wonner's Contacts, €47, 75 Canadian. I think Federation is a good game. I know people have been enjoying it. I've seen people walk away with big old smiles on their faces. So there's that. Oh, you know what I should do? I should get a shelf to put here, so at least I have something in the background. won't be for the month of July. Bunch of different agents who have different search detection patterns, which I think is fun. Or Sniffington can search different things. Must move up to 5 spaces, so up to 5 is fun. May place an equipment card, so there's different equipments, different abilities that you can use, but they'll all tell the agent something. An agent lands on the alien's current tile, an agent uses a specific capture ability, or if the alien cannot move in any direction. So I guess if it's surrounded by agents, that could be a fun way of pinpointing the location, for sure. I'm just wondering if there's anything additionally interesting for the alien, but it's just run away. And you can never be on the same tile twice. You can never land on the same tile twice, though. So you can move through the same tile. That's fine. And you can't land on where an agent stands. Yeah. Did I capture you at the end of my move, or are you detected by the scan? Yeah. I think this looks fun. I think there are other hidden move games that look equally fun. I think this looks better than Mind Management, less complicated, because for my dumb idiot brain, apparently, right? Shipping, but is shipping going to be worth it? Probably not. Oh, unfortunately for this campaign, we're unable to offer shipping to the United States and Canada. Current custom conditions are too unpredictable. Why can't you do Canada? We're not the US. Oh, Canadian orders were previously combined with US shipments, so it's no longer possible. Boo. I didn't even want this game, and now I need it. But Zone 1 would be about €15 to €20 in terms of the shipping. So again, $100 Canadian for this game, not something that I would need. I would pay 50 for it. I'd pay half, exactly half. That finishes Tuesday, July 8th at 2 p.m. if you're interested. That is it. Where are you? You're right there. That's it for the week. Now, every week I do a pick for me and a pick for you. The pick for me being the thing I think is the most interesting for me mechanically, and the pick for you being the thing I think if you got, you would regret the least. We're going to check it out. First, we're going to start with a little grunt down to remind us of what has come before. Yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Fable, absolutely not. Yeah, meh, absolutely not. I mean, yeah, nah, no, meh, no. Skelly Boyz. Yeah, and meh. So, not bad this week. Really not bad this week. I think I have a pick for me. Is that the pick for me? I think that's the pick for me. I think surprisingly, this is the pick for me. ANTgravity is the pick for me. I think, like, it could have been Colosseum, right? But it's just Princes of Florence, a more expensive Princes of Florence. So ANTgravity, I think, looks very simple. You know, I don't think this is one that I would ever want to play numerous times, but I think I like what it does. I like the simplicity of it. I think the card play is going to be a little bit zany. I think it's going to give you that frenetic feel. It doesn't seem like it's going to overstay its welcome too much because you can do things really quickly. I think the potential of destroying asteroids and having things like fall down and having some really fun combos that make you feel clever exist here. And I don't think the price is that bad as well. So I really didn't think that this was going to be a pick for me, but you know, I like it. I think it looks neat. If they were to ever reach out to me and say, would you want a copy? I would say no. Because I don't think I would play it. So why is it the pick for me? I don't know. But I'm still charmed by it. Like I would be like, no, I don't really want it. But I still think it's the pick for me, which I think is, you know, funny. And then pick for you is going to be the Battle of the Divas. It's not Colosseum. It's not Champions of Rokugan. Although, you know, that one looks good. It's just, again, the price is so expensive. Price is price is pretty good here. I think the card battling will be fun enough. If you like a lane battling game, again, I don't think this will overstay its welcome. I think the theming is really cool. A unique theme goes a long way for me. So, yeah, I think Battle of the Divas I'm going to give as the official pick for you nod. It's funny. I am so cheap, right? Like, the Darkleaf Gambit, that's the chess variation, which I thought looked really cool, was the pick for me last week, I think, or some sort of pick for you. It was in the picks. It was in the realm. They contacted me, and I need to get back to them, but they contacted me saying, hey, like, thanks for covering the game. We're glad that you liked it, that it was in your top of the week. Like, if you want to review it, like, we can send you a copy and whatever, which I thought was really, really nice and generous. And they said, just like out of curiosity, like we had it be totally more expensive and we had to cut costs down. Like, what's the price that would have gotten you to back it immediately? And I'm like, I am the wrong person to be asking that question, because for me, it is not a sustainable price. I know this. That's why I've gotten most of my games secondhand before I started YouTube. I would troll for deals in terms of people selling it 50% off MSRP, because like that's the price that I could justify and afford. I'm like, I'm not the right person to be asking this, because even though I've seen literally thousands of Kickstarter campaigns. I still want it always like $30 below what you're offering, and then free shipping. So like I'm a horrible judge of character for that. Because, like, I can be talked into purchasing a big game, right? If Champions of Rokugan moved me, I'll spend a lot of money. I'm going to spend a lot of money on Wonderland's War, because I don't think they're going to send me a review copy, and I desperately want them to. But if not, then I'm going to just buy it, right? I will spend the money on the things that, like, overwhelmingly excite me, but I'll be very choosy on how I spend that money. And I feel like at Kickstarter, they're looking for the people who are incited by that excitement, right? And it is a price point to match. There was a comment recently that was like, hey, like, why should I even care about Kickstarter? Everything's more expensive. I was like, yeah, they are, but they can give you deluxifications and they can give you games that may otherwise never make it to retail. Like, those are the two benefits here, but you need to be excited about those games because you are paying a premium price. The Kickstarter deals are dead. Maybe I'll make a full video about this. The Kickstarter deal is over. It's done. And now it is for deluxifications. That's where the deals are. That's where you are getting value. It's because you're getting these like blinged out copies that only insane archivists would get. Although I don't know, you haven't gotten Pat's homemade Catan yet. One of a kind. I don't know. Contact me. I'm accepting bids. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go see me rate and roast Pat's collection. Well, him rate it and then him roast me. Thanks everybody for watching. My name is Chris George. I do not have a catchphrase, but I have to leave now. What a disappointing end.